Bad boy, baby.
Yeah. William Mafia.
Yeah.
Possibly the first and last of the Ben and Bones podcast. Has a nice little ring to it, I think, already.
Love it. You are looking live at the Ben and Bones podcast.
Brett Musburger, your boy. We'll get into a little college football later, but we'll lead off with Liverpool. I got the kit on. Got it back there. I got a fresh Carlsberg in my Liverpool glass for your boy, the skipper. I only like Liverpool because of you, so let's get your thoughts on Stevie G.
Very bittersweet, because on the one hand, it's fucking awesome that he's going to be, literally the StubHub Center is 10 miles from here, not even, and he's right next door. I can go watch him play whenever. At the same time, it sucks. He's still good. We've watched the last two games. He has all 4 goals in the last 2 games. He's the only guy on the team that gets it, you know, but also he kind of sucks. Like he's super slow. Rodgers' style is all about attacking and being mad quick with the ball and, you know, interchanging and all that kind of stuff, and he's more like old school. He still can drop it in from 40 yards and do that crazy shit, but I don't know, it's bittersweet. It'd be cool to watch him play, but it's kind of fucking lame, to be honest.
Yeah, I got 2 comments, and one is, why didn't he announce at the beginning of the season? Like, they probably expected to be better, but like he could have gone out, and if they were going to play this well, knowing, like, that would have been awesome to watch this season. I mean, it kind of sucks. Like, he basically said, "I give up. Like, we're having a crappy year, so I'm gonna call it quits." You know, he had been thinking about.
I don't think that's what happened. I think what happened was he wanted to stay, and Rodgers was like, "Yeah, we'll keep you, but you're not going to play a whole lot because we got to keep your legs fresh and whatever." And Stevie G, as much as he's a humble guy, he still has an ego, and he's started for the team since he was 4 years old, coming out of the womb, kicking for Liverpool. And now they're like, "Oh, you got to take a break, and you got to rest, and you're not going to play every day." And he's like, "Fuck that! I'm going to go be the fucking stud in America." Which, the one thing I want to say before you get to your second point is, I was shocked with the dollar amount. I thought it was going to be way more than what it is.
I didn't see it.
It's like $8 million total for 18 months. It's like, and I always think about baseball when we talk about salaries and whatever. Like, A.J. Burnett, who, quite honestly, like, I could pitch better than A.J. Burnett, terrible pitcher. Pittsburgh Pirates, I mean, I haven't watched baseball in 3 years. Last time I checked, that's what he was. This fool makes like $18 million a year to be the 5th pitcher on the Pittsburgh Pirates. And Stevie G, who's literally the best soccer player in the entire country of America, when he comes over here, he will be the best player. He's making $8 million. That's a joke.
Yeah. Quick sidebar about not watching baseball. I got a trivia fact of the day calendar for Christmas, and it said who was the AL Rookie of the Year in 2000, and it said Will Myers, and I had to Google it to see if he was on the Red Sox.
Wait, Will Myers?
Yeah, something like that. I don't even remember.
Will Myers is on. He's like been a rookie for like who?
Tampa Rays.
Yeah, but he's mad young. He wasn't around in 2000, 2010 maybe.
2013.
Oh, my bad.
My other point though is, I don't blame him for going to a winning team, but like Liverpool's like salt of the earth, like, you know, like good blue collar people, and he's going to just go to LA. That's like going to join Man U right away, you know?
That is a really good point. That's fucking bullshit. LA, their name is the Galaxy. Oh, the Stars. And it's like, you know what? You've won 5 titles. That's like winning 5 World Series in AAA. Like, congratulations. Yeah. That's awesome.
But at the same time, you can't go to like Sporting KC or like the Montreal, whatever they are. I mean, it's really either you go to the Galaxy or maybe the New York team, whatever. Red Bulls.
The Red Bulls.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a lot that went behind the scenes that we don't know about, and I think there are a lot of salary discussions and like what your standing is on the team, and it's kind of like this worked out for Rodgers that he doesn't look like such the bad guy. I don't think he wanted him on the team. If he really wanted him, he would have kept him. And now he kind of looks like an idiot because last 2 games he has all 4 goals. So
Well, props to you for breaking this story 4 or 5 days ago, and I didn't even see it on Twitter for at least another 36 hours. So that was impressive.
You know what? It's just I'm on the message boards. I'm plugged in. I spell rumor with a U now. You know, I'm all about it, dude. I'm all over. Well, it's really the problem with the transfer period is it's like I don't even know how to describe it. It's if TMZ lowered their journalistic standards to like lower than what they are right now, like divided by 10 where they're at, and it's like I was reading something today where it's like Benzema keen on Liverpool move, has his heart set on Anfield. Karim Benzema, guy from Real Madrid. And it's like, no, he doesn't. Like that's it. And there's no chance that that's real. And if you Google it, it's like the top 8 stories. And there's a million like Twitter things that you can follow that are saying all this kind of stuff. It's all garbage. And you have to like. I feel like when I'm following these guys on Twitter, because I only do it in the summer and January, I'm like swimming, right? I'm just like I'm swimming through this pile of shit, just trying to find one little nugget, one little fecal matter of truth and honesty. And I finally found one with Gerrard, and that was it. But the next one, it's like a Halley's Comet. It won't come around for like another fucking 10 years.
Yeah, well, that's probably enough soccer talk. I guess we'll move on to the national championship. If you've got some Oregon ties, I'll let you lead this one off too.
Let's go Ducks.
Wow.
Love Oregon. Love what they're about. Team Nike for life. Besides my golf clubs now. I just don't like Ohio State. I don't. And there's only one reason why I don't like them. Well, 2. I don't like LeBron. He's like, Ohio State. Like, stop being a fucking loser, dude. The main one, though, and I don't know if you follow him, but Albert Breer of NFL Network is the worst.
I don't like him.
I can't stand it. And I've always said that whenever I'm rooting for a football game or watching a football game that I have a big-time rooting interest in, and I've had like 8 beers, that's the worst version of me. Like, there's no more angry, vitriol, mean, sarcastic, like, nastiness I can get. And I remember when Ohio State got smacked by Michigan State like 2 years ago. I was in a bowl game or some bullshit, whatever. Oh, no, you know what it was? They were going to play for the national championship if they won.
Yeah.
Michigan State beat them.
Yeah.
I never delete my tweets, so you can go back and look at them. That night at the bar, you know, I had like a couple pictures of, you know, Natty Light, whatever. Such vitriol directed at Albert Breer. Like, you fucking pussy-ass cocksucker, hate you. Like, I just hate Ohio State because of him, and I obviously love Oregon because they got swag, and they're kind of like, if your football team sucks, that's who you root for. So, obviously, that's why I'm going for them. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to blow them out.
I agree 100%, but I hate Ohio State. I've hated them since I was a huge Willis McGahee fan, and he tore his ACL in the national championship game, and that was just heartbreaking.
His ACL is the most understated comment of all time. You mean that, like, blew up his knee with a landmine is more appropriate.
I was trying to keep it moving to my next point. I do like Urban Meyer from Florida, but I hate Ohio State in general. My question is, how are their quarterbacks so good, the third string, and since they're all like these cocky dudes, like we ain't got time for school, we ain't paid to go to school, or like whatever, Cardell Jones. How have they not transferred, either Barrett or Cardell Jones? How are they still on the team?
I don't know, but El Prez had one of the funniest tweets about it because he's like obviously all about Michigan now with Harbaugh, and he was saying like he was watching the game against Bama. But first of all, Cardale has the sickest nickname in sports, 12 gauge.
Yeah.
Awesome, great nickname. And he's like, his tweet was like, "What a fucking idiot! What was this kid like? Just planning to sit on the bench for 3 years and then selling popcorn after that? Like, what are you doing? You're
Not
like
smart.
6'4", 240, rocket arm, like." Draw it up. You're the prototypical quarterback, and
just built just like Jamarcus.
Exactly. And no one else has good quarterbacks, and you guys have 3 of them.
Yeah,
like it's insane. I honestly though I think it's obviously Alabama has a good defense. He didn't get exposed against them. Alabama's defense is better than Oregon, but I almost think he's kind of like Flacco, right? Like Flacco's not as good as he was in the postseason, but he plays up to it. And I'm hoping that Flacco gets exposed this weekend against the Patriots, and I'm hoping that Cardale gets exposed against Oregon, because the cream will always rise to the top, and these guys aren't the cream of the crop.
Yeah, the Alabama defense this year also lost to Bo Wallace, who threw like infinity picks against TCU last weekend.
What a weirdo that guy is, huh?
Yeah, not knocking Alabama's defense, but they lost to, they're gettable. I'm not saying Cardale Jones is Tom Brady.
So, sidebar on Alabama defense.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to love this guy. So, I don't get it. Like, one of their linebackers went down in the game, and they're like, oh, they have no more depth at linebacker. I forget what game I was watching, but they have this freshman who's a 5-star recruit, okay? His name is Reuben Foster, and he makes Brian Cox's neck guard look like pussy shit. It's like, it's almost like an umbrella. It's so high. It's like up here, right? It's like a shark fin. This kid is a beast, and he laid the wood on this kid on the kick return. One of those hits where you're watching and you're just like chilling or whatever. Oh shit! Like, hold me back. He doesn't even play. He doesn't get in the game. I don't get it. And it's like these guys have 5-star recruits playing special teams, and you can't beat Ohio State. Blows my mind.
How about I thought of you when I saw that, the Oakman guy for Baylor?
My favorite.
And he goes, yo, this dude looks just like my creative player in Madden.
It's so funny because Marco thought that he said this was the best tweet ever, and I don't really. It takes a lot for me to laugh out loud at a tweet, like legit LOL.
Yeah.
But they had the picture of Sean Oakman at the 50-yard line, standing there, and some black fool's like, nigga look like the final boss in NCAA 15, which is without a doubt the perfect tweet, because everyone gets final boss. It's hilarious because there's obviously no such thing as a final boss in NCAA 15, but if there was, it would be this fucking Shredder Bowser looking motherfucker, you know?
100%.
So
anyway, I think Oregon wins at least by. Well, I don't think it'll be. They'll have to be sweating at the end. I think it'll be pretty comfortable. Not a blowout, but not a
10
worry.
points? 14 points?
I was gonna say 10. My gut says 10.
What's the spread? 7.5?
I checked earlier, it was 7, but it depends where you look, I guess.
Oregon in the over. I mean, you want to have fun, or you want to be you're a communist if you bet the under on that game.
The over/under is like 75 or something.
I don't care. Yeah, out of pure patriotism, you have to bet the over.
Yeah, that's
Oh, can we get a stop here? Like, come on, that's so lame.
so lame. All right, you want to get to the Sunday football?
Or Saturday for the Patriots, or Sunday first?
I just mean NFL.
Oh, NFL. You go. What do you think about the Patriots game?
I told you before, I think I'm not worried about almost anything other than their defense, and only in the respect that, like, I think Suggs could do something stupid or, like, just take a shot at Brady. Like, oh, we're clearly the better team. I mean, there's no doubt. The Ravens have a couple shitty losses this year. But, they can get the Patriots in Gillette. They've proven that.
Yeah, I think I was talking about with a kid I work with today because he's a big Patriots fan, and I think it's obviously playoffs in every sport are all about matchups, right? And I think that they do match up well against us because Doomerville and Suggs and Nada, make up the foundation of a great front seven. The thing that I said to this kid today was, I'll know we're in trouble if I see this. Joe Flacco throws the best deep ball in the NFL, bar none.
Yep.
Like, he just throws it good. And I heard some stat the other day where his percentage of pass interference drawn is way above everybody else.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah.
He's good at throwing that, and Torrey Smith is the guy that he always does that for. So everyone's talking okay, who's Revis going to cover? Who's Browner going to cover? Who's Arrington? Whatever. Here's the thing: if I see Brandon Browner guarding Torrey Smith, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
Yeah, you got
that. Put Browner on. Oh, would you say Daniels? I cut out for a second.
He's Smith.
Smith? I think. Here's what I think. Controversial opinion alert. I think you put Revis on Torrey Smith because he's their big play threat, and I think Arrington, who sucks on the outside but is good in the slot. Steve Smith is kind of like basically a slot receiver at this point. Put him on Smith, and then I don't even know who the other motherfucker is that they have. If it's Jacoby Jones or some other fool who's like, I know they're both big. Put Browner on him.
I just feel like
or Browner on Daniels.
Such an animal still. Like you see him this year, he just like throws people to the ground, just talks so much shit. He's still like buff. I feel like Browner would be good on him. At least jam him on the line, and he can still cover him for sure, and make sure you don't get burned by him.
Don't you think he's too quick for Browner though?
I don't know. They're kind of built similarly. Browner's a lot taller, obviously, like a lot taller, but I don't know.
I like Browner, but I feel like he kind of sucks. Like he's always doing stupid shit.
It's like 3 holding calls and a pass interference. It's ridiculous.
He's like you know what he is? It's like I used to play like CYO basketball, right? And it's like you have the one kid who's like in 2nd grade who's like 5'8", and he's 160 pounds, and he's 40 pounds and 6 inches taller than everybody else, but he has no coordination and he sucks. So he comes in the game and he gets a bunch of rebounds, but he also fouls out in like 6 seconds. That's Brandon Browner. Like he's a beast, he's an animal, and he's awesome, but he also just all he does is get pass interference.
Well, here's what I just thought of it is kind of different. Like you see him getting a lot of those dumb penalties. But other than that, you really never hear about him, which means he's covering his guy pretty good because they're not throwing at him. You never see him really making tackles aside from that one where he took the guy's head off in San Diego, which wasn't a head-to-head hit. But like you never see him really getting picked on or thrown at. He's either making a dumb penalty or you don't hear about him at all.
What do you think about LeGarrette Blount?
LeGarrette smokes blunts? I love that guy.
Do you think he's good?
I know you're partial to Stephen Ridley, but I like how he just always seems to get 5 yards. I don't think he's good. Like last year, I knew we were in trouble because in the playoffs, it was like, let's just hand it to Blount and see what he can do. I was like, that's not going to work. But I think this year, much better all around. I don't know. Blount, Gray, Vereen, mix them all in, and I think that's good.
What I think's weird about Blount is that he's an animal, right? He's a tank, but he never gives me confidence on like 4th and 1. Like I'd honestly rather give it to Gray on 4th and 1 than Blount. But when Blount gets a couple, like Blount needs a head of steam. I've always thought that Blount should line up like Canadian Football League status, like 20 yards behind Brady, and just start like jogging up, but to get the handoff, and then he can plow over people. But he's not good at like that 1 yard carry. He's good when he gets a little bit of a head of steam. And it's like I remember, like you said last year for the Denver game, they had that guy Terrence Knight pot roast who was like, had the best game of his life. Same thing with the Ravens. Nada and those guys, they can shut down the line. And I would rather see them use their speed on the outside and then mix in Blount later on. But I think with the Patriots, and it's true every year, but it's most especially true this year, I feel like, within like the first 2 or 3 drives, what team came to play. And you watch the Jets game and like, oh my God, really? We're going to have this offensive line today? Or when they played Denver earlier in the year, like they struggled for their first drive, but then like up-tempo, fast, kept going. And you can tell right away, like, all right, this is going to be a good day. So I think we'll know after our first beer how it's going to be.
Well, let me tell you right now, if the game comes down to whether LeGarrette Blount plays well or not, I'm going to quit my pants. That's not what you do your life. It's on to have a solid game. Edelman stopped dropping the ball. The defense just plays like they've been playing all year, and it should be pretty comfortable.
I fucking love our defense, dude. I love Hightower. I love Collins.
It's so nice. And imagine if Mayo didn't go down. Like, he got fucked with the injury bug last year. If we had him still, it'd be not going to play that game. But the defense is great.
Yeah. Well, it's before we get to the games, two other quick points. One is it's very interesting that it's the first game of the week because it either sets you up for a great weekend or a horrible weekend. Because if they win, you're like, oh, fuck yeah, let's go. First of all, let's root for Andrew Luck. I would love the Colts to come to Foxborough. That's number one, and you can enjoy the whole weekend. If they lose, how can you watch football? It's like, you can't. You're done.
Thank God it's on a Saturday, because if they win, I don't have to go to work the next day either way, and if they lose, I can just be depressed and drink myself to sleep.
Yeah.
But you just brought up what I was going to talk about. I didn't know if you were one of those people, like, whenever the Sox are in the playoffs, they're like, let's face the Yankees in the ALCS. I'm like, why? Why do you have to prove you want to go through the Yankees? Give me the Twins. I remember that in 2004. I was like, give me the Twins. Like, I don't want to face the Yankees. I don't need to prove that. If I lift the World Series trophy, that's good enough for me. I don't need to face Denver in the AFC Championship game.
No, I don't either. But I am kind of like that. Like, a couple years ago when we played the Giants and we lost, I remember that whole string of events was like payback. Like, we had, I forget who we beat on the way, but it was all teams who we had lost to. One of them was the Ravens when we won that game. And I kind of like that because it's like a nice story. But I agree. Like, I just, and it's weird because, and you remember this from being a Red Sox fan, that there was a desperation with the Red Sox prior to them winning in 2004. Like, every time they made the playoffs, it was like, edge of my seat, like, I'm holding on for dear life. This is so fucking nerve-wracking. They gotta win. Just win one. And obviously we've been so spoiled with the Patriots, but I think you will agree with me. I'm at that point right now with them because the clock is ticking on Brady. As much as I love Jimmy Grapes, I don't know if he's going to lead us to a title.
Tommy's one more bad.
What's up?
Tommy's one more bad.
Yeah. And it's just like, he can't go out losing to that fucking schmuck Eli Manning twice. Like, that's so lame. And I feel like if he wins one more, the rest of my football life will be gravy. Like, I'll just be like, oh, okay, hopefully the Pats do well.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know?
Like, obviously, both those losses to Eli Manning were devastating, and he played so well. But when I watch him on Red Zone now, like, I kind of laugh. I'm like, this dude is so bad. Like, how did this happen?
It's mind-blowing. And it's the same thing with Flacco. You watch Flacco during the regular season some weeks, and it's like,
yeah,
what? This is Flacco? He's making $20 million a year? It's ridiculous.
Give me him on Saturday. That'd be awesome. And then let me get Tom Brady's whipping boy, Andrew Luck, in the AFC Championship game.
He puts him in a body bag every time they play.
That's a joke. I love it. Careful what you're looking for, I guess. But
they're so bad, dude. They're fucking terrible. I don't know, like, ugh, God, whatever. The other thing I was going to say before we go on to the next topic was last night, I'm already getting into the draft. Like, you know how crazy I get about that. I love the off season. I love that shit, right? So I've always said that Larry Fitzgerald would be the perfect Patriot because he's a fucking, like, stand-up guy, polished guy. Not that Aaron Hernandez was like that, but, you know, that's kind of like our MO. And Josh Gordon would be the other end of the spectrum, but that's the exact guy we need. We need an outside wide receiver who's good or whatever. So I was like,
Dallas cards, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly, primarily. So I sent out a tweet that was like my to-do list for the Patriots, and if I was trying to think like what number of these things getting accomplished would make me a satisfied person, and I settled on 4. So here's the to-do list: beat Baltimore, beat Denver. I don't care; it could be Indianapolis. Beat Green Bay because I don't think we can beat Seattle, so I'm rooting for Carolina this weekend.
100%.
Resign Revis. Resign McCourty. Sign either McCourty's good. I know Goody's like has brainwashed you against him. Sign Fitz or Josh Gordon. Draft. This is the big one. Todd Gurley. Beat everyone and win the Super Bowl again. That's the game plan.
I like that little checklist right there.
Can you imagine next year if it's... Because you know what? I think we always look back on Patriot teams and we're like, oh my God, can you believe Reggie Caldwell was our number 1 wide receiver?
You know, yeah, you and me always talk about this. Like, I want, like, that sick wide receiver or like that. Like, the guy that's not a Patriot, basically. Like, give me Randy Moss. I wasn't even, oh my God. I wasn't even a Patriots fan until we got Randy Moss. Like, that's what I want. Yeah, give me Cousin Dez.
Love him. But we never get those guys. We get, like, offensive guards who are, like, 350 pounds from Idaho. It's fucking... Ugh. I don't know why we're complaining. It's stupid that we complain about it. Point taken. But can we get little swag up in there?
Let's move on, man. I think we could probably skip Carolina, Seattle. I'd say we both probably rooting for Carolina. I don't think it's going to be as good as all the analysts are saying it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be that close.
Really? So I think the spread's 10.5. You would take Seattle?
Oh, no. That's really close. I just think everyone's like, oh, it's going to be another 9-13, another like 17-14. I just feel like I think Cam's not. He doesn't get as much credit for as good as he actually is. Like if you put him on the Bengals, I was thinking they probably would have won at least one playoff game in the last few years. Yeah, but I just think the rest of the Panthers like pretty much suck. Their defense is solid, but who's he throwing to? The Seahawks could take away Calvin Benjamin pretty easily. Their running game's solid. I know that's the way you beat Seattle's with like a good running game, but I'm not buying it.
I guess you're right. I mean, I've always loved Carolina, and I love the way they're playing right now. I still have a good feeling about them. And there's always a crazy game, There's always a big upset.
I'd be thrilled, absolutely thrilled if they won. I'll be rooting for them the entire game.
I know, because that's what I was going to say about the Patriots. Like, people pee down their pants when they find out we're playing the Ravens. It's like, oh, they're like such a big, bad, scary team, Like, Seattle's like 10 times that. Like, if you can't beat Baltimore, there's no way you're ever going to beat Seattle. You know what I mean?
Let me jump back quickly about that. Like, I'm not that worried about Baltimore. Like, if it was Week 15, I'd just be like, all right, here we go, another Sunday, whatever. But since it's the playoffs, playoffs, whatever. All right. What do you think about Indy and Denver? You think Indy's got a decent shot?
No. The only shot they have is Andrew Luck playing out of his fucking skull. And we saw him the other day why he was the number one pick when, first of all, he had a quiet 375 yards. Like,
that throw wrapped around his legs was money.
That was disgusting. Like, that is... And I always say this about Andrew Luck because I feel like it's so underappreciated. And it's like the Paul Papps corollary about how if you're a white guy, you're sneaky athletic, or Jordy Nelson, like, was the fucking 100-meter champ in high school.
Yeah.
If you go back and you look at the combine results for Andrew Luck and Cam Newton, they are exactly the same.
I know. He's got a huge vertical. It's insane.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. So, but I don't, like, who's good on them? Like, Moncrief? I mean, T.Y.?
I think it's legit.
Well, he's good, but I think Talib can shut him down.
Yeah. Let me go the other end of the spectrum on the quarterbacks, though. I think Indy could win if all this Peyton Manning talk is actually real and his arm is actually dying.
Yes.
I don't think it is, but I've watched a lot of Red Zone, a lot of Denver games. Like, he definitely has lost a bit. And, like, the straw that broke the camel's back, like, it has to happen at some point. It wasn't last year. Wasn't the first couple weeks, but like you can't argue that he's the same.
Absolutely not. And actually, while I'm doing this, I'm going to look up the weather in Denver for that week.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I mean, if it's cold,
yeah, he can't, like, because I watched the Cincinnati game, and that's the last throw that he had. And here's why I was watching it. Because, so I won the total humble brag, like 25 points going into the final game. He had A.J. Green, who obviously got hurt and scored 0, and I had C.J. Anderson. And all cards, I lost 1 point. And that pick, like, obviously sealed the deal, because they lost the ball. So I was more furious in that than anything else. He's lucking out, dude. It's going to be 44 degrees on Sunday.
All right.
So maybe he wins, and then he comes to Foxborough, and it's fucking miserable, hopefully.
Yeah, the NDD is non-existent, too, but I think you've got to give him a decent shot. I'd say they'd win at least. They'd win a quarter of the times they went there this weekend.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny you said that because I was thinking out of 10 how many times they'd win, and I was like 2 or 3, so 25% makes
What's
sense.
the spread there? Do you know?
I think it's the same thing. I think it's 7.5.
All right. I would definitely take Indy with that, though.
I don't know. I just don't care. I think they're so lame. I think both. I have no respect for either of those teams. I know Denver's good, but they're such pussies. Like it's like, if I could take one game off to watch this weekend, I'd take that game off. Which is a perfect segue to Ice Bowl rematch, Green Bay and Denver.
Yeah.
And I know you and I are leading the Dez bandwagon, so we don't need to talk about that.
I've been on the Dez Bryant bandwagon.
I was hearing all this stuff on the radio this week where people are like, oh, like we hate the Cowboys, and Cowboys fans are like, oh, we love that people hate us again. Like, how can you hate the Cowboys? It blows my mind. And you and I grew up in that time frame when it was like you either loved or hated the Cowboys. Like, we were around for the Emmitt Smith time and all that kind of stuff. I just don't get it. Like, if you don't like Jerry Jones, you're not American. He's the definition of America. Dez is like the coolest fucking dude ever. Romo, we like him. He golfs. He's sick of golf. He's also tough as nails, which totally goes underappreciated. They're just like a cool ass team. I don't know how you don't like them.
Watch that Korean preview of the game I tweeted out last week.
No.
It's like a cartoon preview of the game, and it's like all exaggerated robots and stuff. And then it's like, and can Jerry Jones like keep lawsuits away and all his side pieces? And it's just him on the sideline just getting blown.
Nice.
But
by Chris Christie.
Yeah, like if I was thinking of this though, if I gave you in Madden, or even if you were starting a team, age, don't consider age, I guess. Rodgers, Nelson, and Lacey, or Romo, Bryant, and Murray.
Wow, that's a good question. As much as I would love to say our boy, Rodgers, Lacey, and Jordy. Happen.
But I think like Dez is definitely better than.
Way better.
Yeah, and Murray.
I think this was Murray's best year ever, and I think
it's not going to be the same.
Lacey is the prototypical back for what you need right now, which is he's like fat as fuck, and he's a bowling ball, and he's somehow still wicked fast. Yeah. So, and Rodgers is insane. He's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so like
I think close.
Those three are similar. I think their defenses are similar. Like we don't know anyone on the Dallas defense pretty much, or like most people don't. And the Green Bay defense has got a few names like Hawk and I'm blanking.
Peppers.
What? Yeah.
Peppers.
And Clay Matthews. But like I think their defenses are similar in skill. Like the one thing I was thinking of the turning point for this game, and it's such a cliche announcer thing, but it'd be turnovers, and it's because of Murray and his fumble problems. And like when I don't know how cold it's gonna be there, but like that's gonna be. I think he'll fumble the ball at least once, maybe twice.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like Denver to win. It would be. I mean, Dallas to win. It would be cool. Yeah. But I just don't think they have the firepower. Although Green Bay is a really schizophrenic team. Like they played us obviously very, very well. Their defense was exceptional against us. And then you watch Monday Night Football 2 weeks later, and Julio Jones and Matt Ryan are going nuts on them. Yeah. So I don't know. They're kind of a weird team, and Rodgers is playing up this calf injury. Who knows how serious it is? It'll be a good game. That's the one I'm most excited to watch.
So weak too, by the way, that Green Bay is now no longer the frozen tundra, and it hasn't been for a few years. But like that they heat the field. Like I want that cement.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're living Green Bay, like that's what you have. That's it. You know what I mean? Like any other place in the world can have heated turf. You're the only one besides Antarctica who has frozen tundra. So own it.
Have to own it.
Whatever. So give me your 4 winners, no spread, just who's advancing.
I got all chalk.
Really? Rock chalk Jayhawk for you?
If I were to call one, my gut just said Indy, but I think I'm going to go Dallas if I were to call one.
If I look at it as from a betting standpoint and take all my bias out of it with the spread and everything, I would pick Baltimore. I think that spread's too high for the Patriots, and I like the way that Baltimore plays. I think they have all the pieces of a team that can win a playoff game. And if you haven't realized that this is my attempt at a reverse jinx yet, then I don't know what to tell you. Because fuck them! Let's go Pats! All right, what else we got?
I got the last 2 topics. I got a little golf for you.
All right, everybody tune out. It'll just be us.
Yeah. All right. Just a brief Tiger Woods season preview, mostly focused on the majors, but I do want to say I am excited if the rumors are true that he's going to play in the Waste Management Phoenix Open.
That would be sick. That would be really sick. He needs to do that.
He can raise the roof again after the hole-in-one.
He needs to do that because we get so sick of seeing him at the same tracks every year. Switch it up, bro. You know what I mean? And that's a cool-ass tournament. I don't know why he doesn't do it.
Play more because...
What's up?
He needs to play more.
Yeah.
Not like in general, but like right now, he needs to play more.
So, over under 1 major for him this year. Half a major. Because does he win one, basically?
This is like one of my only sports biases. I have to go with he wins one. It's more, at what's that, Lake Nona or the Islesworth thing, like his swing looked really good. I think you and I know his swing like very well. Obviously he chunked like a shitload of chips. Everyone was chunking it, but nobody chunked 9. and like the fairways there, I was reading, they're like, if you can't hit those fairways, like, just give it up because they're so wide. So what I was thinking is, I got him down for 1, but it's
St. Andrews.
What?
St. Andrews.
Only 1 major, but it's got to be only out of 1 of the 2 courses, and it's gonna be Augusta or St. Andrews.
Great year.
Yeah.
Well, Chambers Bay is new, and I don't know where the PGA is, but no one gives a shit about the PGA anyway.
Hey, it counts. It counts towards Jack.
Yeah, it does.
But so I was looking up Chambers Bay.
Yeah.
PGA is at Whistling Straits. Chambers Bay looks just like Whistling Straits.
Yeah.
I'm not giving him a chance at either place.
No. The only guy who has less of a chance than him there is Mickelson.
Yeah. Like, would it surprise me if he won? Actually, yes. But, like, I would be thrilled. I'm still going to go into the week expecting him to win. But if he doesn't win at Augusta or St. Andrews, like, I don't really give him much of a chance at the other 2 places this year.
I can't get over it. I think it's one of the most depressing, like, crazy change of events of all time that he hasn't won in 6 years, Ben.
Dude,
6 years.
I remember I was at your condo when he lost to Y.E. Yang. Y.E. Yang.
Y.E. Payne.
That
was,
was, oh man, was it ever.
Speaking of raising the roof, raising the golf bag above his head like it's the Stanley Cup.
After he shanks a hybrid that we were like celebrating about, and he stuck it to like 8 feet.
I don't know. But what's crazy is, yes, so the whole scandal changes the whole course of his life. I think he had another big one, and I know I've talked to you about this, but this is when I was unemployed, and all I was doing was watching golf, and I was so in tune with like tournaments and stuff. Like I was watching every minute of it. Like my TV was on the Golf Channel nonstop. And when he hit the flagstick on 15 at Augusta, that was obviously set off an unprecedented chain of events with the drop and the ruling and the stroke penalty and whatever. That was almost as detrimental to his future as the scandal was. Like,
that was devastating. Yeah.
Had he won that tournament, don't you feel like the floodgates are just waiting to be opened? He just needs to get that swag back.
Well, that same year he had 5 wins, 1 Player of the Year, and then he has a shitty year last year, and everyone forgets that he won the Players the year before in 4 other tournaments and should have won the Masters. Like he's not that far removed from being the best player in the world. He's just super far removed from winning a major. And if you ever told me after Torrey Pines he wasn't going to win for 6+ years and counting, I'd call you crazy.
I just think the biggest thing is that they're not scared of him any longer. And that's so sad.
Not even close.
You know?
It's
people are more scared of Rory right now.
Yeah.
He's just a machine, though. Like, his swing just looks like, Iron Byron, that thing that they created, that machine? That's what it looks like. It's like, how do you ever miss a shot? Like, it's disgusting.
That's what I wonder when he, misses cuts. I'm like, how does that even happen?
That's what happens when he is banging some chick and falls through a table. That's how you miss a cut. He gets cut and misses a cut.
Quick sidebar. I'm thinking for the next episode, we get B. Hayes on, and we just talk PGA rumors and do a full PGA Tour season preview.
I love it. Let's do it.
All right.
And then we have to drink squirrels throughout the podcast.
We're gonna record it on a Friday or Saturday.
Love it. Let's do it.
All right. So last topic, quickly, the Hyundai Tournament of Champions, the first FedEx Cup tournament of the year, basically, first one that counts, first one of the new year. I personally almost never watch it because Tiger never plays in it.
Yes.
And I played the course in Tiger. I watched it a little bit last year. I know it's usually low scoring. They got that cool 18th hole. But, I'm not going to pick a winner. There's 30 people in the field. But I will say, I like Hideki Matsuyama this week.
Wow.
I think he's going to have a good year.
Wow.
I've been hearing a lot of stuff. He's going to have a good year. And I feel like last year I saw Ricky Fowler went there for basically a month to Hawaii before the season. He just chilled and goofed around.
How hot is his new girlfriend, by the way?
Oh my God, she's so hot. But I have no idea how Ricky Fowler did in the tournament last year. But I just feel like they got a lot of guys view it as vacation. But I was thinking on the tee on the way home from work. I was like, yeah, but these Asians, a different culture.
They don't get it. They don't know what vacation is.
Yeah, they're probably focused. He's probably treating this like it's a major. He's showing up trying to win. So I don't know.
Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Because, and I don't know if there's still time for you to get in it, but if you did, I think you'd have a fucking blast. My buddy hooked me up into this fantasy league for golf. I did fantasy golf last year, the Yahoo one where you pick A players, B players, and C players. It's fucking lame. It sucks. It's so weak. This one is so sick. It's a $150 buy-in, and it's a suicide pool in the sense that you can only pick one guy once throughout the entire year. Yeah. And all you do is you get their winnings for each week, and whoever has the most winnings at the end of the year wins. So I was looking at the tournament, and obviously Bubba Watson's the favorite, but that whole it's a long course and you need to be a big distance guy is way overstated because of the elevation changes, par 73. It's really not that big of a deal. And I think Zach Johnson won last year, and he's obviously one of the shortest players on tour, so it's not a big deal. I think Bubba will do well. But what I did was I said, okay, I don't want to I have to do well this week because it's only 30 people, so it's going to be a big money week, Sure. But I said I also kind of want to pick somebody who I'm not going to pick the rest of the year. Yeah. So I go on this website, I go on golfodds.com, and it just has, the odds for the players, obviously. Bubba is number 1. I forget who's number 2. And number 3 at 12-1 was Matsuyama. And I was like, this is how little I knew about him. I knew it once I clicked on his picture or whatever, but I was like, wait a second, the fucking cowboy hat wearing dude has won a tournament last year? How'd that happen? He hasn't been good in forever.
That guy was awesome.
Yeah, Shingo Katayama?
Katsuyama.
Yeah. So it's so funny you said that because I was like, I think I'm going to pick Matsuyama. The only thing I will say to that is how you said it's some guys treat it as a vacation. Matt Kuchar is literally sponsored by Tourism Hawaii. Okay, that's how much he loves going there.
Yeah.
He's also the most laid-back fool of all time, and I think that when he's in his element and he's just fucking chilling, he also will do well. So he's my other choice, but I kind of want to save him for later. And I'm never going to be like, oh, the Memorial, Hideki Matsuyama. Like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, we're eating sushi on Sunday is what I'm saying.
I like it. Let me go with my last two quick points.
Good.
The one thing you were telling me about that league, B. Hayes said he could get us in one for 300, and we could just all split it, and the winner takes like 20 grand.
Trip to Bandon.
Yes. And now, there's about Bubba. Do you follow No Laying Up or Never Laying Up on Twitter?
Yeah. Well, I used to. He gets so annoying after a while.
They're hysterical, but
I know.
I was thinking of, I used to love Bubba when he had the buzz cut and the visor, and then I even liked him in the first Masters, and then last year when he won, I was while he was going up, I was like, if he cries again, I'm never rooting for him again. Like, that's so stupid. Cried, I hate him. Everyone hates him now. He's like such a dick, rips on his caddy, he's like mean to fans, like
pray for Ted Scott is their whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. I don't know, dude. He used to be so cool.
Exactly, yeah.
I think he's just. I agree. He's kind of like a prima donna, and his whole thing is being like a folks hero, like folky kind of guy. So it's like, why? Those are two totally different things. So I agree. I don't really like him. He's just.
And his wife looks like Brienne of Tarth.
Such a low blow, but very accurate.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just. The Masters last year was so lame. Like, he plays so good there, and it's so perfectly set up for him. It could not. There's no course more set up for him than that.
Yeah.
You know. So this was a blast. I loved the first one. I would like you to come up off the top of your head right now with a bonus topic. I think we need to have a bonus topic to end it because we have to reward our listeners who stuck through a good 15 minutes of golf talk.
Wow. I was actually jotting. I was going to do this to you earlier, but then I wasn't going to do it. Maybe we should drop a quick mention to the Javid Best All-Stars just for future reference.
That's what I was just thinking. Okay, Javid Best All-Stars. Okay, so who's in the Hall of Fame right now?
Why don't we define it first? The Javid Best All-Stars are players who have terrible numbers for how they look or their position, such as Javid Best. Sleek number 4 for a slender running back in college goes to the Lions. Number 44. Immediately outside of the league with concussions. Just doesn't work.
Just setting yourself up for failure. And it's just absolutely like, oh my God. And you know what? It's not even Javid's fault, okay? He's probably a good dude. He's probably a smart dude. He gets it. He knows that number sucks. It's the NFL's fault. Because I remember when Reggie Bush came out and he's like, yo, let me wear number 5. I'm like, no, really, bro? Do you have to be that so fucking lame? You know? So, anyway, he's in there. God, we've had so many.
We've had so many. The next one that came to my head was just Xander Bogaerts when he came in as number 72, but that was kind of middle of the season type deal.
So weak.
Marcus Smart, 36.
That's the biggest one for me right now. That's just disgusting.
He needs to be a single digit or like it's hard on the Celtics. It is hard on the Celtics.
The hardest.
Yeah, by far.
What's so awful is that he has 33 tattooed on his arms. Like, that's horrendous, you know?
I think you could just text Larry Bird and be like, hey, can I just borrow 33 for a while?
I feel like Ainge shouldn't have drafted him based on that principle alone. It's like, oh, sorry, dude. Like, you got tatted with 33. We're going to take, Julius Randle instead.
Wait, they didn't take Smart ahead of Randle, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right.
Who else is in there? Anybody else who can remember?
Oh, man. I mean, there was
a list.
What's up?
You need to keep a list.
Yeah, we should. I mean, we came up with a good amount. I know that.
All right. Well, that's good for right now. The other thing that we should start keeping a list of is the best your boy Tim Donaghy's, because that's my second favorite running joke. So I'll explain that one, and that is just the worst person that you could. So it started on PTI because that's all they ever say is your boy, whoever, right? So we were trying to think of the worst person that you could possibly choose to be your boy. So your boy Hitler, your boy Tim Donaghy is the sports equivalent of that because it's just awful. Or your boy Aaron Hernandez, whoever. So whenever somebody does something egregiously bad, then it's a quick text, your boy X.
Sure.
So what's the deal? We're going to do this weekly?
I think weekly is aggressive for both our schedules. I would aim for bi-weekly, but maybe we'll do one next week with B. Hayes.
I think we can do weekly. I mean, especially during the playoffs, there's so much content. I could talk to you for another 2 hours right now. I'm bursting at the seams with information.
All right, shoot for weekly. I'm down.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. I'm gonna stop this real quick, but hang on.
Good night, Canada.
Yeah. Clear enough for you? All right. Yeah. Why niggas look mad? All right. Y'all supposed to be happy on the street. Y'all niggas look like y'all wanted me to stay in jail. Oh, busters. Picture me rolling in my 500 Benz. I got no love for these niggas. There's no need to be friends.